There are certain games that we never really leave. Even after the credits roll and after years pass, they stay with us, patiently waiting like an old friend. I tend to call these games comfort games. But that can be a very broad selection for most people, including me. What's the first game that comes to mind when I say comfort game? Maybe Minecraft, Stardew Valley, Alien Isolation? Okay, maybe not that, but if it is, I'm concerned. Who hurt you? We can talk about it, I promise. But there's a reason we keep coming back to these games, time and time again. It's the same reason we order our favorite food on a Friday night, or put on our favorite comfy clothes after a long day. There's a certain comfort that comes with familiarity. And in this video, I'd like to explore why that's important for us. Comfort games can mean a lot of things for different people. For me, one of the first ones that comes to mind is Skyrim. Whenever I'm going through a particularly tough season in life, I find myself jumping back into this game. I know so much of the ins and outs that I can just turn off my brain and get swept away. The sounds, the skybox, the NPCs all have a sense of familiarity to me. There's no surprises except for the good old Bethesda jank, and I know what's going to happen around pretty much every corner. There's a certain comfort that comes from that for me. And I don't think that's just nostalgia. I think it's a form of grounding. Our brains find peace in familiarity, comfort in places where the rules don't change and the world feels like it makes sense. There's something therapeutic about being able to return, no matter where life has taken me. Whiterun is still Whiterun, and just as I like to take a hike down to my favorite creek, I like to wander in Skyrim. And it isn't the exact same feeling, but it taps into a similar essence for me. Every time I jump back in, it heals something in me. And I think that's important. There's a reason certain games click with you. There's a reason there's that little voice in your head telling you to start that 500th Minecraft world instead of buying and playing something new. If we turn to psychology for a bit, comfort media, books, TV, movies, and games, are often described as a form of emotional self-regulation. The familiarity can help us calm down, process things, or even reconnect with the time we felt safe. It gives an illusion of control during uncertain times. There's a way that repetition and predictability can actually calm an anxious mind. During a particularly rough patch of life for me, dealing with grief, burnout, and feeling lost, it was these comfort games that dragged me back to life. When I walk by the stream in Riverwood, or ride my horse out to Valentine, or start a new farm in Stardew Valley, I feel like I'm revisiting a part of myself. The part of me who first fell in love with storytelling, with exploration, and with creativity. And sometimes, as corny as it sounds, these comfort games remind me of who I am and what I seek in a meaningful gaming experience. Revisiting a comfort game is like lighting your favorite candle. You know the scent, you know the feeling, and that's exactly why it helps. There's an importance to ritual. Your morning coffee, your daily walk, your favorite Spotify playlist. And there are certain games that give me that same gentle grounding. And there's a certain magic to that. But even still, sometimes I catch myself thinking, shouldn't I be playing something new? But it's a strange way to look at art, isn't it? No one's ever told me to stop listening to my favorite song because I've heard it 100 times. It helps me. And maybe that's part of the beauty of comfort games. They remind us that progress isn't the only form of growth and healing. Sometimes revisiting something familiar gives us the space to notice how much we've changed. When I was younger, I played Skyrim pretty much only for the adventure. I just wanted to be the biggest, baddest Nord this side of the Jarrow Mountains and
crush your enemies, see them driven before you.
But now, I've slowed down. I listen to the ambient sounds, I stop to watch the sunrise over the tundra. I pay attention to things I never noticed as a teen. And maybe that's how you know you've grown. When you start noticing the quiet moments you used to rush through. I also think there's a strange guilt that we've woven into modern gaming culture. This pressure to always push forward, crush the backlog, play the next big release, but good art isn't just something to check off a list. It's meant to be felt, experienced, leave you questioning and reflecting. And it's these experiences and comforts that give us the space and clarity to recharge and to face the world again. And for a game to bring you this feeling is a very personal thing, and it's different for everyone. There's a certain genre of games that I find pretty comforting that aren't your typical comfort games or RPGs. There's a special kind of comfort for me in cinematic adventures. Your Uncharted's, your Last of Us's, your God of War's. For me, they're almost like returning to a favorite movie, except I get to be in it. I think I keep coming back to them because they hit that perfect balance between engagement and ease. The gameplay is familiar enough that I can turn my brain off a bit, slide into that flow state where you're present but not really pressured, and the story beats, they still hit every single time. There's something really grounding about replaying a story you already know the ending to. There's no anxiety about what's coming, you already know the heartbreak, the triumphs, the losses. And somehow that makes them feel safer. The tension turns to comfort, like hearing a song you've already cried to before. For me, The Last of Us is the digital equivalent of revisiting a difficult memory. You've made peace with it. It's heavy, yeah. Loss, survival, moral grayness. But replaying it years later, you start to notice how it handles that pain. You pick up on the quiet in-between moments. Ellie flipping through comic books, Joel looking out at the sunset. When I was younger, I focused on the action, the fights, the violence. Now I focus on the small bits of humanity threaded into the chaos. It's a strange thing about returning to emotionally heavy games. You're not just seeing how the characters have changed, you're seeing how you have. What you notice says a lot more about who you've become. And then there's God of War. A game that for a lot of us somehow became therapy in the form of father-son axe-throwing bonding time. It's a deeply human story wrapped up in Norse mythology. It's a story of grief, legacy, and the weight of trying to be better than the person you were yesterday. When I replay it now, I don't feel the same intensity I did the first time. It's gentler. It's more reflective. It reminds me that healing doesn't mean forgetting who you were. It means learning how to carry the past without letting it crush you. And sometimes that's exactly what comfort is. A story that hurts in the right way, that helps you let go of something by holding it again, just for a little while. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have FromSoft games. At first glance, you'd think they'd be the opposite of comforting. They're punishing, vague, cryptic, and unforgiving. But to me, they're quietly meditative. There's this rhythm to dying and learning and trying again. It's the kind of struggle that feels meaningful because every failure is usually your own, and so is every win. In a world where so much feels uncertain, these games give you immediate, tangible proof that you can overcome something hard if you just keep trying. There's no hand-holding, no shortcuts, just pure, honest perseverance. And don't you dare go hollow. But all this to say, go play your favorite game again. Because comfort games aren't just a form of escapism. They're bookmarks, they're dog-eared pages in our own personal journey, marking different times in our lives and who we were and quietly showing us who we've become. And a good comfort game to me is one that allows us to slow down and remember why we loved this hobby in the first place. Thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. This one was really fun to make, and it was really close to my heart and something I've been reflecting on over the past couple years. If you guys enjoyed this video, or if it inspired you to go back and play some of your favorite games, leave a like, it really helps the channel. And if it did inspire you, let me know in the comments what game you're thinking of jumping back into, and what weird and out there comfort games do you have that wouldn't be your stereotypical comfort games. Also, if you guys like this kind of content and want to see more, consider subscribing. If you guys are interested in me diving deeper into any of these games that I listed, let me know in the comments. I'd love to make some deep dive videos about some of my favorite games and the importance of their story. But all this to say, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and once again, happy adventuring.